As for Connor, I've always been he's hit or miss with me, man. Because right when I start to like him, he kind of goes after one of my good friends and training partners, Donald Cerrone, and and he is my boy. He has been there for me as much as I like Connor as a fighter. He has not personally been a teammate or a friend of mine. So when it comes to picking sides, I gotta go with Donald on that. But as far as his fight coming up. He's exciting, and I think he can kick some ass. That's for sure. I won't take that away from him, and he's entertaining as hell.
I do like Conor McGregor. I mean, I think he's good for the sport. He gets people interested. For us, for the media, he's amazing. He's great. He's always in a good mood to give an interview. And I do like the cocky guys, the guys that are confident. And even if you're going to pull against them, later on because they're so cocky and arrogant, you still like seeing guys that are confident and that move the needle.
Perspective on Conor McGregor as a personality, I think he's exactly what mixed martial arts needs right now, especially in this part of the world. You need someone who can really break that glass ceiling and take the sport into the mainstream, into areas where perhaps the sport hasn't been able to reach so far. He's a dynamic personality, but he backs it up when he gets in the octagon and fights. And that's the most important thing. The nearest equivalent I could come up with is someone like Prince Nassim Hamed. He's got that fighting style that people like to watch. Some people tune in to watch him win, some people tune in to watch him lose. The important thing is that people tune in at the end of the day, and Conor McGregor is absolutely the perfect guy to get bums on seats, eyes on television screens, and I think he's exactly what we need in this part of the world to help push the sport forward as the UFC continues to grow across Europe.
So I don't hate Conor McGregor. By the other hand, what's not to love about him? He's a good promoter. He's a brilliant fighter. He's got the looks. He knows how to dress. He's got a good posture. He's polite, but he don't plays like a clean game. He plays a dirty game. But who am I to say that he's wrong? He break every record. He's got the numbers. He sell more pay-per-views. He sell more tickets. So he's right doing what he does. But nothing of this changes the fact that Aldo will whip his ass. That's a fact.
My perception of Conor McGregor is he is doing the right job right now, just going out and marketing himself and making money that whenever fighting's done, he's gonna have the life that he desired and wanted. And
What my perception of Connor is as a personality, having been lucky enough to meet him, I think he's a super guy. I know how hard he works. I've seen how hard he works. I also have heard how hard he works in the gym, which obviously I haven't seen, but I've seen how hard he works in the media stuff firsthand. He's always a gentleman, willing to take a picture with anyone. He'll sign anything for anyone. So I think he's a really genuine guy. I think he knows he remembers where he's come from. He knows how lucky he is to be where he is, and he's worked bloody hard to get there, and I think he deserves all the credit in the world and all the success he has. So I think of him as a personality as just a super guy. I really do like the fella.
He's highly entertaining, let's put it that way. And I can understand why he fascinates MMA fans globally. Do I think he oversteps the mark at times? Yeah, he probably does. There are certain comments that he's made regarding kind of cultural nuances, shall we say. For example, when he talks about favelas and Jose Aldo, where I think that maybe he has potentially overstepped the mark. He might contend that he's just doing it to hype a fight or to promote a fight, but still there are certain cultural elements when you mention them that you could perceive to be overstepping the mark. Chael Sonnen famously did it as well when hyping the fight with Anderson Silva. Used to reference things about Brazil, which obviously Brazilian natives weren't impressed with. So yeah, I think there are certain times when he oversteps the mark.
Jose's going to come right at him and try to get him, and I think the difference really is going to be how much Conor's in Aldo's head, and I think he's going to be able to use that against him and use his counter strikes. Conor's the longer guy. He's got a ridiculous reach for a 145-pounder. If he can use that range in his crazy kicks and the different style that he approaches the game with, I think he's going to be the legitimate champ.
It could go either way. I don't think I'd be too upset if it goes either way. I certainly hope Conor wins. I think he can win. I think he's all round a better, well-rounded MMA fighter than Jose, which is saying an awful lot. He can take a punch. He can certainly give one. He probably hits the hardest in the featherweight, possibly the lightweight division. He's better on the deck than a lot of people give him credit for. People were taking an awful lot about how easy it was for Chad to take him down. I don't think Aldo is going to have that success in takedowns. I'm not even sure he's going to try and take him down. So it's going to be a straight-out shootout on the feet, and I think Conor has an advantage there. I think he's going to be faster. He hits hard. We saw Chad rock Jose, so I'm not saying he's chinny, but you know he can feel the effects of a punch. So I like Conor in this one. I think he stops him before 3.
McGregor versus Jose Aldo, the main event at UFC 194. This fight was supposed to happen back in July, and obviously we had that infamous rib injury that ruled out Aldo. McGregor then went on and won that interim championship. I think the crucial thing about this fight now is McGregor in December will be a better fighter than McGregor in July. I think he stands a much better chance of winning. I actually picked him to win against Aldo leading up to that fight in July. I have no reason to change that train of thought going into December. I think he will have learned quite a lot from that fight with Chad Mendes, areas of his game where he might need to tighten things up a little bit. Obviously, Jose Aldo is a completely different animal in terms of the style of fights. Even this week, some of the Instagram videos that he's been putting out of some of his training sessions are pretty scary to watch. It'd be all to do with how Conor manages the range against him. If he can manage the range well, stay away from those leg kicks. Obviously, being a southpaw, it's a bit trickier for Jose Aldo to make those leg kicks really count. So he's going to have to adapt his game as well. It's going to be a case of who adapts best to the other one's style. I think Conor seems to be a master of a game plan. He's definitely in Jose's head. And if on fight night Jose goes in there and he's fighting with his emotions and not with a fixed game plan, I can see Conor getting the job done inside the distance. I'm going to pick Conor McGregor to win it, but it's going to be an absolute cracker of a fight however it pans out.
I think it's going to be a decision. I think it's going to go all the rounds. I think that neither one of them are going to tap. I don't think either one of them are going to get to that point, but they are going to beat each other up. They're going to literally, I feel like the kicks and punches are going to be insane in that fight. Like they're going to break all the records for punches and kicks.
It's going to go to Aldo, no matter how. But I think that he's probably going to take this by knockout or submission. I don't think Conor is prepared physically to take the rhythm that Aldo will put on him. And I can guarantee you that the more the fight longs, the more it's going to be on Aldo's hand.
I feel like the fight, I feel like Jose Aldo is going to try to take him down, try to take Conor McGregor down and finish him off in the ground. You could sense that was coming out from his, that vibe was coming out from his camp. And I think the Chad Mendes fight really reinforced everything that they were planning and strategizing for that fight. I think that Jose is confident enough to trade with Conor. He's fast enough, and he will target that lead leg from McGregor, who is just across from his lead leg. So it's easier for him to land that inside leg kick in Conor's lead leg. I think he's going to target that, take it to the ground, and finish him with a choke or something like that. He's going to look for the ground, and I would say like first, second round finish for Jose Aldo.
Arguably more intriguing now than it would have been back in July, because there's more question marks. Again, question marks over Conor's wrestling, his conditioning, the weight cut, the lack of IV. I mean, it's fascinating. So a definitive prediction I find hard to give on this one. I think it's going to be an amazing spectacle, and I can't wait to be there, hopefully staying at Hooters with my good friend Niall McGrath.